morning.
Good morning. How are you, Abranti?
I'm doing good. You?
Doing great. Just getting ourselves set up here.
Ty też uwierzysz.
Hello.
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 Well,
Hi.
if it isn't
I'm gonna
Globetrot Toshi.
all up tall she.
What? Yeah.
Tall she.
What's that
Ask
about?
any she. That's a new name that VS gave me in my channel.
I see. Are you?
If you have a Optoshi name, feel free to drop it in the 110 Nouns OTG channel.
Are you tall?
Which is apparently just a nicknames channel.
I am tall. I am tall.
How tall are you? Dox yourself.
I am 5'10", so I think I'm tall for a woman.
That is pretty tall.
But I think they were just joking around. They're like, we can't tell from the interview video that you put out if everyone's short or if you're tall.
It's both.
Probably a combination of both, yes. I am going to just get this out to people's DMs really quick to make sure some people get to join the space. Hello, everybody who's already here.
Yes, everybody who's joining. Hey, no, Robot.
Hey.
Robot, you sound like you're on your emulator again. What's going on with that?
I do? Oh, that is probably because I've got Premiere open. I'm editing. I'm just gonna be lurking anyway.
All right.
This lurk.
Your computer's like tapping out. It's like I can't literally do anything else.
I'm out of RAM and my CPU is overheating. Yeah, that's definitely what's happening.
That sounds like a shirt that I need to be wearing. I'm out of RAM and my CPU is overheating.
That's a shirt we need to get for Ben on the rare occasion he sleeps.
It'd be a good one for it'd be a good one for DevCon for sure. You'd be a big hit.
I need to get an upgraded computer so that I can actually these things take so much longer than they need to, just because I've only got 24 gigs.
Have you heard of
RAM.
Have you heard of Prop House?
I've considered it, honestly. I've considered just going to small grants and being like, buy me a computer on Cyber Monday. So I can edit more noun stuff.
Hey, Mono, how are you?
Oh, hey. Good. How are you?
I'm good. I heard you guys had some fun at Mexico. Do you want to, what did I say? ETH Mexico. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. It was a fair, the Nouns fair. We had games, candies, a football table, marbles table, which is a local game here in Mexico, and a lot of swag and no goals and piñatas and stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
Very cool.
Cool. East Mexico.
And as I understand, you guys are going to be doing another event for Bogota as well. Is that right? For DevCon?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we're preparing everything for Bogota. So that will be interesting. It's a bigger event. Yeah, if Mexico was around 600 people, and if Bogota would be for 1,500, I think.
Cool.
So yes,
Cool. Now, was ETH Mexico, was it more of like an expo, or because I just came from ETH Berlin and it was a hackathon?
Yeah, it was a hackathon too. Yeah.
Okay.
So what's a hackathon for people who don't know? I don't know that everyone will know what that is.
Yeah, a hackathon is it's like a contest, a coding contest where people get together for a full weekend and they just make teams with other people, coding stuff, and they do it nonstop for almost 72 hours. So they build an MVP, a minimum viable product, and they present it to some judges, and then people choose their best projects, and people win bounties and other prizes. So I think there are like 10 winners, and people just getting encouraged to keep building their project. It's a pretty fun and intense experience.
Do you remember specifically what the winner was of ETH Mexico, like what their project was for the hackathon?
I'm not sure the winner, but I remember one team, they were building like a tool to monitoring the network to identify lost blocks or something like that. That was pretty technical. So I didn't get that much, but that was cool actually.
Very cool.
That is awesome.
For those that are just joining, so this is our weekly Discord community call and Ask Us Anything. It's a completely open forum. If you have any questions about Prop House or any other part of Nouns that you've had on your mind and you want to ask, now's the opportunity to do so. The event's being held in Nouns Discord, which is free for anyone to join, and the link is on our Twitter pinned to the top. If you actually are on Twitter, because we are simulcasting this over to our Twitter, you can listen in. You're hearing everybody who's in the Discord chatting, but we can't interact with people on Twitter or we'll get mic feedback. So if you have a question and you're on Twitter, you can just respond to the pinned tweet with your question. I'll be monitoring that as we go. What we're going to do here is just kind of chat with some people who are here and go through some of the news of the week from around Nouns for the first half. And if at any point you have a question and want to interrupt, just unmute your mic and we will definitely call on you. And then the latter half of the show, we'll open up completely to questions.
Hey everyone, I do have a question.
Sure,
if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So I just did my first proposal to Nouns today. Very excited.
Congrats.
And like I was wondering, so I didn't receive any feedback, like either positive or negative, and I was wondering if there was a special way where I can bring more attention to the proposal.
So where was your proposal? Was it on Prop House?
No. So before that, I posted on Discourse.
Okay.
So I want to get feedback so that when I post on Prop House, it's like the proposal is as strong as possible.
For sure. And what's your prop called? I'm on Discourse here now looking for it.
It's called the Nouns Daily, the first decentralized Twitter account ever.
Okay. And what's your idea for that?
So the idea is to create a decentralized Twitter account for Nouns. And basically what is a decentralized Twitter account is, so we're going to use a tool that is gathering content suggestions from the whole community. And there is a decentralized way to rank the content, like what's good content and what's not. And
Okay.
only the best content is going to do. The idea is to, like if we want to proliferate the Nouns meme, it would be very important to have a good Twitter account with lots of following. Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you have a link to that discourse? We would love to, if you posted that here, right here in the voice public chat, we'd be able to all review that together. Love that.
Voice public.
So I
If
have
you just click on. Sorry, Teddy.
No, I'm just had a question for him about the actual proposal while he grabs that link for us. So the decentralized side of things. So how many people will have access to the Twitter, and in what manner will that be decentralized?
Yeah, so this is actually based on a Vitalik Buterin's idea. So first of all, like on the first question, how many people are going to have access? So in the beginning, I'm going to attract good writers, basically by offering a airdrop of tokens, and that is going to be the initial community. And then in how decentralized is this system this is going to use prediction markets. So when a user suggests a post to be published on the Twitter account, there is going to be two things happening. One is a prediction market where everyone can bet how many likes that post will have if it gets posted on Twitter. So, for example, I make a suggestion and I'm very confident that it's going to be a success. So I'm going to bet that it's going to have 100 or more likes. Okay, and if other people disagree, they can bet that it's going to have 50 or less likes, and the prediction market is going to have an estimate of what the community as a whole thinks that post is going to have. And the estimate of likes for each post is how we are going to rank which post is good and which isn't.
Okay, interesting. And that's all happening on the fly, like it's happening on a separate site, or how does the prediction market work?
Yeah, so I've built this website which has the front, like the UI that interacts with the smart contracts, and I can also post it here on the group chat. It's called The Writing Monks. I always take a little bit of time to find the group chat.
I think it's interesting. One thing I guess that I thought of when you first mentioned decentralized Twitter is that there would be some way for the actual admin of the Twitter to be decentralized, which I think would be really difficult given that Twitter is centralized. And we struggle with that problem at the Noun Square, obviously, because we, want to have lots of different people who have the ability to start spaces. But of course, having the credentials spread thin among many different people is not ideal either. So it's a real challenge to try to figure out.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is that I have a smart contract that is responsible to interact with the Twitter account, and that interaction is done through Chainlink, so an oracle. And so we kind of make the decision of the DAO talk with the smart contract, and then the smart contract tells to publish on Twitter or not.
Okay, so there's actually no human being that needs to log into Twitter. It's all done through the API?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Oh, it's like a bot. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
like a bot controlled by the community. I think it's a cool experiment.
Yeah. How did you first hear about Nouns, Abranti?
Yeah. So actually, the first time I got interested in crypto was through Nouns and through on-chain NFTs. And I got so into it that I launched my first on-chain NFT collection. It's called the Polysart. And yeah, it's super inspired in the Nouns. I actually, when I launched Polysart, I wrote an article on Medium and I talk all about Nouns there.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing. And if anyone here listening has any feedback for Abranti, please, by all means, it's an open forum, like we mentioned earlier, so you can definitely speak up and ask questions to him or give him any suggestions as we go along here today. Thanks for sharing, Abranti.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would love any feedback. Thank you.
Very cool. Awesome. Aptoshi, before we took a break there for housekeeping, I was going to ask you about the hackathon in Berlin. I know you were on the Noun Square asking about some ideas because you guys were able to participate. So can you talk a little bit about what you guys did for your hackathon idea and what ended up winning? But you'll have to unmute yourself first. Are you there, Aptoshi?
Yes. I'm so sorry. So our hackathon idea, so we didn't end up actually participating in as in submitting the hackathon idea itself.
Okay.
But we did have a really awesome idea where we wanted to sort of track the carbon footprints of NFT communities and companies and projects and stuff too. But essentially what the idea was it was just like this one-page website where you could put in any wallet address, so any contract address, any specific address, and it would track pre-merge the carbon footprint of all of essentially, I guess, the collective gas fees of that contract, and then it would track post-merge. And so then obviously post-merge, we're going to see a lot less fees and carbon footprint there, but the additional feature would have been to then at that point in time for your pre-merge carbon footprint, you could buy carbon credits to offset that. And so essentially the Nouns DAO could offset all of the carbon footprint that I had created pre-merge, which would be I think just such a significant, even just gesture in general. And then essentially, I feel like the environment conversation and this carbon footprint of different NFT projects seems to be like the number one reason against sort of adopting any type of crypto native ideas. So it seems to solve that problem as well too. We didn't have a dev there at that time, so Mono, maybe next time we're gonna have you there at ETH Berlin, but we'll have to meet up at the next hackathon to see if we can put our brains together and get a really cool idea going.
Sure, that will be great. Are you going to ETH Bogota?
I am, I guess, like daily seeing that might be a very significant event to go to. And so if I can make that happen somehow and add it to the Nouns OTG, list, I would absolutely love to do that. I've never been there as well, but it's seeming very important. Are you yourself going to be there?
Yeah, I'll be there with the Nouns Fair. I won't hack at this time because it's crazy to attend both things. But yeah, I'll be there.
Yes. Oh, Elad reached out to me as well too. Okay, so verbs are definitely going to be on the ground in Bogota, Colombia. That's really, really, really exciting. It seems like an event that might be like iconic and like one that people can't miss. And so maybe I'll try to get over there, but we shall see. If not, I will be at NFT London in November. So very excited about that one. And hopefully we can get some people over there on that side of the world as well.
When is that's in October, right? ETH Bogota? Is it October?
Yes, I believe the whole like week that it's happening is like the 11th through the 16th.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's DevCon. On the weekend before is ETH Bogota, the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Cool. All right. Well, should have some representation there, which is cool. So what about some Nounish news that's happened this week? Abtoshi, did you hear about the shark?
No.
You didn't hear about the Nouns shark? So thanks to a donation that Nouns made to the Hong Kong Shark Foundation, which I think was through a prop, if I'm not mistaken. There's a shark now, an actual living being shark, that carries the scientific name nouns.wtf. I guess that would be its non-scientific name, but yes, it carries the name nouns.wtf. So if you check out their Twitter, there's a video talking about it and whatnot. It's pretty cool. This is through the organization Green Nouns, so GreenNouns. If you can post that for me, that'd be awesome, Abtoshi. I can't go to a different window because I'm screen recording this, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So Green Nouns, at Green Nouns on Twitter, they did indeed do a prop house, and they were able to sponsor a research project for sharks, and one of the shark species is now named nouns.wtf. So that's kind of cool. What do you guys think about that?
That's kind of hilarious that the name is nouns.wtf. I really like that. I'm just here now and like.
I don't know why they decided to do that. But it's just absurdist enough for it to be nounish, so I kind of love it.
Yeah, it is. It's like the name on the website is the shark's name. It's so funny.
I just feel bad for the shark because whenever he fills out a form now, it's going to go straight to the website. So it's kind of annoying for him.
Yeah, nouns.wtf. That's so funny. Imagine, but is that going to be like beneficial in the future if someone gets bit by like a nouns.wtf, like
yeah.
How's that going to go down?
Hopefully hopefully it's a nurse shark or something.
Last summer, I was attacked by a nouns.wtf. I mean, literally, I lost an arm.
They say there's no such thing as bad publicity, so I guess we would find out if that's true. So yeah, that's one piece of news. Anyone joining though, this is a completely open forum. So if you have a question, if you're working on a prop, if you have some ideas and you want to share, just unmute your mic and we'll call on you and you can chat. It's completely open. And if you're on Twitter, you can listen in, but you can't talk because we can't have people talking on both platforms at the same time. However, if you respond to the pinned tweet, I'm keeping an eye on that and I will answer any questions that you might have over there.
I also to point out that I've sort of been messing around and experimenting with doing TikTok live spaces, but I currently am on a TikTok live and there are 68 people in here as well. So
Oh, nice.
we got quite here. I will be asking anybody here on the TikTok live if they have any questions about NFTs in general or DAOs. And so we'll try to sort of create that bridge as it comes, but I will just be mainly focusing on all of you guys here and any questions that you guys have. But it is an open forum, and please, please, please make sure that you just unmute your mic and ask us a question, or if you're a little bit more shy, go ahead and just type it in voice public or the voice public text, and we will definitely be seeing those questions as well.
Sounds good. So we talked about the Nounish shark. What about Nounlets? Anyone have any opinions on Nounlets, which just launched? If you haven't heard of it, it's the company Tessera, which used to be called Fractionalize. They have a new project basically called Nounlets, where they've taken one noun, a brick noun number 315, and they've broken it into 100 nounlets, and they're auctioning them day by day. And if you buy a nounlet, you own 1% of that noun, and then the majority basically elects a delegate to act as that noun, and that's kind of the quick and dirty on nounlets. What do you guys think about that?
I love the current one that's on auction, the rainbow accessory or shirt.
Let's take
and I'm curious as to whether anyone's going to then further fractionalize their nounlet.
I think 4156 didn't 4156 just tweet about that? I thought I saw a notification pop up while we were on here, something about nounlets being fractionalized and the resulting number looking more like an ETH address than anything, because it gets pretty small.
Well, I haven't seen that yet. That's pretty cool.
So maybe I am not as privy to what is going on with
But I was excited to see it come to light.
Yes. So can someone explain, so what's going on? So let's say, so they're going to fractionalize one noun. Does that mean that all the people in the one group that are fractionalized within that one noun all vote together? How does that work?
No, they vote for a delegate. So whoever's the delegate, I guess, gets to act as that noun, if I'm understanding correctly.
Interesting. And does the delegate have to be someone who is participating in purchasing one of the fractionalized pieces of that noun?
Sorry.
Or can it be anywhere?
Can you say that again? You were rugged for me for a sec.
Oh, yeah. So it is the delegate. Did they have to be someone that has bought a fractionalized piece of that noun, or can they select anyone?
Yeah, I believe it's from all the people that have bought nounlets. They can vote to be the delegate.
Interesting.
Interestingly, I went to 4156's Twitter, and he had a post 3 hours ago about this, showing that the current delegate actually showed up in the Discords, sort of saying, excited to be here. Not sure how long I'll be the delegate, but here I am in the meantime, so it's kind of cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's an interesting experiment.
I was just going to say the cadence is a 4-hour auction, and they seem to get settled pretty quickly. The first one went for over 4 ETH, and I don't think there's been any that have maybe gone under an ETH. I haven't looked through them all yet, but there's 100 in total.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, if you do the math on it with the average price of a noun, they should be going for something like 0.65 ETH maybe. But some of them are going for higher than that. Obviously, the first one went for much higher than that. I don't know for sure, but I thought I heard that it was maybe Andy, one of the founders of Tessera, that bought it, which maybe makes sense if you wanted to have a piece of history. But it's an interesting experiment, like I said before. Anyone else have any questions or thoughts about Nounlets? If we don't know the answer to it, we're going to have Dees on the Noun Square also on Thursday, as well as Andy. So if you have a question that we don't know the answer to, we can put a pin in it and ask it live on Thursday. Yeah, I'm trying to find that tweet where he says something about further fractionalizing them, but I can't find it right now, so I'll look again later. But I am interested to see how quickly it kind of goes to that median of, 0.6 or whatever it should be. Has anyone here bought a Nounlet? Maybe that's a good question. Or tried to?
I tried to be the first or the second bid on the first one. Outside of that, no. And it said there's 25 of them already moved through since they started.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see that the current delegate is Martin.eth or MRTN.eth, and I know he's quite active in the Little Nouns community as well, so it's interesting to see some cross-pollination.
آها که مرزج من نوشته شما کف نجس چیزی.
I don't know if that was a question from someone or a hot mic.
کثافت.
Do you see where that's coming from, Aptoshi? I don't see anyone's mic live. That's weird.
I do, Arash. You do have a hot mic going right now.
Oh, it's a rush. Okay. Well.
Did you have a question that you wanted to ask, Arash?
I don't think he knows that he's got a hot mic, so we'll monitor it, and if it becomes a problem, I'm not sure if 9999 is there, but we might need him to server mute if it becomes a problem, but seems like it stops, so it should be all right. What else is new? What else is new in Nouns, Aptoshi?
Sorry, I have a question about Downlet.
Sure, Mono, go ahead.
Yeah, how does people nominate, or I don't know, does people nominate to be a delegate, or how does people delegate that noun?
It looks like there's a voting mechanism right underneath the auction, by what I can see here on nownlets.wtf. It shows a leaderboard, and then it shows who the delegate is. And it seems like it might be like completely fluid. So I'll have to find out the exact answer to that. But it seems to me that you can be the delegate, but you could lose that delegate spot if someone else has more votes than you, maybe. I'm not sure.
Interesting. I will have to check that out. Mono, I also did just put the Nouns Agora URL in the voice public chat. I think it's super important to always reference, especially if you're more fascinated or interested at all in the delegation part of nouns. And so Nounlets offering that is fantastic. Nouns Agora is a new Nouns Mandates Prop House did project. And so they are a place where you're going to go and actually make your own profile if you wish to be delegated a noun. It's also where you can go and see who the other delegates are currently. And so every time I hear the word delegate now, I just got to shout out Yutong and throw the Nouns Agora URL out there for anyone that's sort of interested in that as well.
For sure. Medardo, I just have to say I love your little noun, with little zebra with the matching vinyl. It's very aesthetic.
Very cute. Super tight Woody, I did see you in here. I had to shout you out. I just actually got off a call with Neil and Stupid Buddy, and that was freaking awesome. And so it was kind of cool to see or hear that you about Neil. Yes. They are also so excited for what they have going on with their prop and the Rose Bowl parade and everything too. But I really want to get them actually, Tody, we had discussed maybe like next AUA. Like they really want people to know what's going on with their thing, and they almost want a designated AUA for people to ask questions. And I thought that might be pretty cool if we wanted to do that next week potentially.
That'd be really cool. I love those guys, Chris and Eric. Yep. They're super fun. Any alpha that they gave you though, and what's going on with their prop? How's it coming along?
Oh my gosh, yes, all the alpha. The walkarounds are nearly finished and look incredible. They are finished. I've seen a couple of photos of those.
What's a walkaround?
You know, the walkaround is actually going to be like a sort of mascot outfit of a specific nouns, right? So chart bars, the camcorder noun. You know, it's going to be people in like life-size noun costumes, and these are absolutely the guys and the experts to be doing this project because they are the people that create and have built every single the Masked Singer costume. And so,
that's so cool.
Really incredible to see that they've like created the nouns versions of that. So we were kind of discussing like what are some fun ways we could do almost like nouns on the ground interviews with these guys and run around, and
can
also
we get,
like how do
we get T-Pain in a nouns outfit, a nouns costume?
Oh, so cool. But we're talking about the float and the parade and stuff too. I did get to see an image of that. I just want you guys to know, like, I don't know if you guys are entirely familiar with the Rose Bowl parade float at the very beginning of the new year every year, but it is a huge deal, and everyone comes from around the world and builds these floats out of flowers. And so I got a sneak peek of the actual Nouns float from Stupid Buddy, and you guys, this thing is at least 10 times larger than I thought it was going to be. It is iconic, like the different nouns that they're featuring, how beautiful it's going to look, the interactions on the float. And then actually, I found out too, the Rose Bowl parade theme of this year is turning the corner. And so I thought that was pretty fascinating as well, because I think that we're obviously in a time where, like, turning the corner sort of into like Web3 kind of makes sense. And so it's like Nouns turning the corner. It's almost like for builders, and like why we even host these AUAs. It's literally for you guys, of you're turning the corner as a builder into this new area where you can even propose or ask for these things that you specialize in or like doing, and any projects that you want to do, and what that even means to just flat out be asking for what you want to do and seeing how that comes out. So I thought it's all really tying in together. They're doing a fantastic job. I think they're going above and beyond their proposal. And then obviously they're producing an entire documentary around the whole thing for it. So they're just fantastic guys. And it's obviously very exciting to see people that have more of those like long-term proposals that take up a lot more months sort of to bring to a conclusion than others. And just to see that they're still just that much in it and so excited and thinking about it daily was a huge, huge deal. And I just thought it was just fantastic to see.
The real question is, are you going to be able to be on the float? Did we get that confirmed yet?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you guys, but they're like, what's your dream version of this float? I'm like, I don't know. Am I on it? Am I driving it? Like, what am I doing? So I'll leave that up. I'll put it up to a vote or something. You guys can tell me how you think I should be involved in that. But there's any opportunity we want, we can create. So
speaking of really big,
funny
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it would be dope to have you on there with like a live stream 360 cam or something like that, where we could see your perspective standing on the float, looking outwards.
That would be cool.
So fun.
Toshi, you should be, I don't know if you're familiar with the Rose Parade, but every Rose Parade has like a prom queen person on each float, and they have a crown and they have a sash for that float. It's a thing, and then there's a big ball afterwards if you've ever been there and done that.
Toshi for Queen of Nouns.
You need a brownish crown, and you need a gown. You need to be the prom queen.
It's Toshi, the queen of the nouns.
I'm throwing laughing emojis right now. I just want you to know that.
You can be the very first crowner. That's a nounish.
I'm gonna try to see if I can find a picture of one of the Rose Parade.
Oh, I'm very familiar. No, I'm very familiar with the
She's known about this the whole time, and this is her whole end game, is to be the prom queen of the Rose Parade, the Nouns prom queen.
Yeah, it's like you guys thought I wanted to do AUAs with builders. I'm really just trying to be in a gown at the Rose Parade.
Why not both?
I'm just kidding. For all the new people who have just joined us here, hi. And does anyone have any questions? This is our weekly AUA. There's no sort of boundaries or limits to the types of questions you can ask within the Nouns DAO, around building within the Nouns DAO.
Maybe a couple boundaries, but try us.
Yeah, try it. We're begging for questions at this point, only because I know that this always happens, but after an hour and a half of being here is when they all start coming in. So I'm trying to just encourage you guys to feel excited to ask us those now, because everybody here would probably maybe have the same question as you. And so one answer can help a lot of people. So let's not be shy, and please, anything you guys would like to know.
Yeah, and again, those of you, who are joining us on Twitter, you can just put your question in the comments there. Just comment on the pinned tweet. We're keeping an eye on that as well. Speaking of Stupid Buddy and big ambitious proposals, we had Mike Mongo on TNS this morning talking about his upcoming proposal to basically have Nouns help train an astronaut. That was kind of interesting. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Or anyone heard it? Don't all answer at once, though.
I did catch part of it. I love his enthusiasm about Earth. That was my biggest takeaway of that space. I think when we focus on space exploration, everyone's always talking about sort of leaving this planet, but I loved that he had a big affinity towards Earth and all the things that we can do here to sort of keep this a positive experience. And so that is an important piece of that space that I caught. But for anyone that was not able to make that space this morning or that whole space like myself, we do record all of those 9 o'clock spaces. So you can always go back on the Nouns Square Twitter profile and listen to all those spaces. And I would highly advise you to do that because we have fantastic guests that have a lot of insight to specific industries or fields that maybe we don't all, get that insight into. So maybe I'll post that space link here in the chat just so you guys have access to that as well.
I'm new and maybe it's obvious, but I wanted to understand a little bit how to pitch a project. I'm looking at the channels and the pitch proposal ideas and what the process is, or maybe you can just let me know where to go to find that information.
Hey, Gina, thanks for joining us and thanks for the question. So I just posted a link in the chat there. If you can see it on the right side, it's nouns.center. That is a site that's built by one of our community members, CDT, and it's really helpful for new people to kind of navigate exactly what you're trying to figure out. On that page, there's if you click over together here, it'll say get funding, and if you click on that, it shows you in very clear terms sort of the 3 paths to getting funded by the Nouns DAO. So one of those paths is called small grants. They've actually recently rebranded as Nouns Strategic Funding Works, but it's the same idea. It's a smaller, flexible pool of capital. And you can actually just look right in the Discord here. If you scroll up from where you are right now, a couple above, you'll see, where is it here? Why can't I see it? Oh, grants and retro funding. So grants and retro funding, if you go in that channel, you can chat about your idea, and there's a committee that sort of lives in that channel, and they can give you feedback. It's headed up by Noun22, one of the members of the DAO, and he can sort of help you. And that's usually for projects that are like 10 ETH or less. And then the next one would be Prop House, which there's some overlap between these two, but Prop House is really interesting. If you go to prop.house, you'll see that there's almost always a competition going on or multiple competitions going on where there's a prize up for grabs, either 1 ETH or 2 ETH or sometimes more, where you just submit your idea, whatever that idea might be, and you compete against all the other ideas over the course of the week. And at the end of the week, those with the highest numbers of votes get the ETH automatically. So those are the 2 easiest ways to come in with a new idea. And then there's a third way, which is sort of for bigger ideas, which requires getting some help from Noun owners to post on a page. But most people, when they're coming in, they're usually looking at one of those first 2. Does that make sense, Gina?
Yeah, that's super, super helpful. I guess just to be slightly more specific, I have a Web 2 community app that has about 30,000, 35,000 people on it, and I'm looking to kind of Web 3 it,
okay,
and create a DAO off of that. And so it's like a kind of an existing project that I'm trying to raise money to do the Web 3 and look at, and so that was something that maybe, I don't know if that's more complicated or I should still start in the same place.
I think it's always a good idea to start with what's called an MVP, which is a minimal viable product. And if you're in the Web 2 development space, I'm sure you're aware of that. But starting with that kind of a small idea on something like Prop House or with Noun Strategic Funding Works is always a great way to get your foot in the door, especially if people don't know you yet, they don't know your reputation. It's a good opportunity to think of something that you can do and build within Nouns that'll sort of prove that, and then maybe if it's interesting and people like it, then it can be a good foundation to build on from there.
Okay, this is super helpful. Thank you.
I'd love to know, is there a sort of background on this like Web 2 community that you've built? Like, what do you guys talk about? What are you into?
Sure. So it's called Kindred Connect. It's an app in the App Store. You can find it in Android and iPhone. And basically, it's a community. We come out of the Burning Man community, so you can meet. It's basically a community to meet new people for friendship, dating, and collaboration. You can meet people one-on-one, and then we also have these tribes. And the tribes, the most popular ones are things like creative, sex positive, cannabis, psychedelics, musicians, gamers. So it's kind of an app for people to meet people, and we want to do, me and my CTO is we're looking to create a DAO to kind of incentivize the content creators that are on there to help add more content and build the community. The profiles are collages, so people are sharing about them, different aspects of themselves, from their passions, values, perfect day, relationship style, things like that. So we're just like, it's been building in the Web 2 space, and we're looking to move it to create more we're looking at things like the Lens protocol. I don't know if you're familiar with that, or Hive.io, but then also looking at maybe we should build it on the Nouns. So we're just
so Lens protocol is a decentralized social network protocol, right?
Yes, correct.
Spelled by Aave, is that right?
Correct. Yeah. So it's just, we're just trying to figure out, we're sort of in the research phase and fundraising phase, like what's the best way to tokenize this Web 2 community and use it to really incentivize the members.
That's pretty cool. I think if I can give one piece of advice as you start to navigate this road, is just to make sure that whatever you are thinking of putting out as an idea, that it's kind of that it puts the Nounish community first. Like, how can the Nounish community benefit from the community that you've already built, or the app that you've already built, versus coming off as this is what we've built and we're going to put noggles on it and this is a new thing. You know what I mean? So, which I don't think you would do that anyway, but that's the feedback I can give for similar proposals that have come through. The ones that have been more successful, the ones that really put the needs of the community sort of at the forefront and then develop from there.
No, I appreciate that advice. What I'm just curious, how many because I was looking for this information and I couldn't find it. Yep. How many people are actually part of the Noun community?
So the Nouns community, so it's interesting that you put it that way, because the Nouns community is a bit different than a lot of NFT communities, in the sense that there's only 250 unique owners or thereabouts of the Nouns, because there's only one new minted every single day since last August. So the actual owners or members of the DAO is a smaller number, but then you'll have hundreds of people who are building different things because it's CC0 and extensible. So you've got hundreds of builders that are building communities and projects on top of it, and then probably like thousands on top of that are fans of the various communities or fans of Nouns. So the community itself is certainly thousands strong, and the actual membership of the DAO is quite a bit smaller than
that. That's super helpful. I guess if I may ask one more question.
Please do, yeah.
Just because I'm a little bit new here, like so essentially, like the functionality that we've been focused on with Kindra Connect is like, how do we help people meet each other as a way to strengthen other micro communities, so that, Discord, for example, typically a lot of people have avatars. You don't really know exactly who you're talking to, and obviously there's a place for that kind of anonymity, but we're sort of taking the opposite tack, which is that people actually want to meet each other and learn more about people so that they can meet in real life and extend that relationship. So that, just trying to figure out how that might fit into like if that's something that, I don't know, might fit into a part of the Noun universe.
I definitely have a thought here, just while you were speaking about your whole Web 2 community as well. I think the very first step of the thing that you need to do is, since you are creating that sort of social app, right, where everyone's connecting based off of liked or similar interests and things that they might, connect over. I think what the first thing you should do if you're trying to enter into Web3, let's get like 3 key Web3 questions on there. Let's get like, are you into NFTs, right? So someone has to either answer yes or no. Then Are you know, you under are you interested in the blockchain or chain and cryptocurrency? Are you a builder? Are you an artist? Like those types of things. And so I think that if you find people who are answering yes to the NFT question, or maybe not just yes, they know about it, but maybe yes, they want to know about it, right? You're going to start seeing how many of this 50,000 people, right, might actually, like, just in the reference to the Stupid Buddy and sort of Rose Bowl themed parade, like how many of those individuals are going to be turning this corner with you into Web3, right? Because you're not going to, I don't believe every single person is going to be maybe having that interest, right? So I think that if you start asking your community these questions, that niche community that you're talking about is going to start to form. Then when that niche community forms, you're going to really understand what these individuals are going to sort of need as a community to be able to participate within this new Web3 environment. Like, and how deep are they willing to go? Because knowing about NFTs and the knowledge and just maybe this very small, but still yet it very much is a learning curve in the beginning that has to happen with anyone who's like a non-crypto native, is I guess what everybody would reference these individuals as, right? Right. That step of that information of knowledge has to happen before all the fun creative new projects and all those new ideas and stuff happens first, right? So I think that it would behoove you and probably be the smartest thing to firstly start examining which in your community are already crypto natives, because maybe that's not a question you've even asked, and maybe you'll be surprised to find out that a third of them are kind of interested in that. And so from that, you have like a much smaller pool you'll be able to sort of tackle and take on to ask the larger questions to see, okay, which of these people want to have a meetup? Like, are we now, like, which of our events during this year that we throw for our whole community are going to be sort of more crypto style events? Like, I would love if you guys even like sort of showed up to these events sort of with your group of people, or said like, hey, we're going to do a meetup here at, NFT London, and who here is from London and there, because I do know that the Burning Man community is one that stays very connected with each other. And so I think that what you've built is really incredible. You've really utilized a social network of people who are social, they're forward facing, they are creators, they are people that love working as artists and in the creative fields. And so I think you now, like, discovering who in that community you've already built sort of would be more interested in this Web3 side is going to be really important as like sort of your first step of like who is even there that would understand this.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, most of them are artists, but yes, those are interesting questions that I should definitely ask. No, I appreciate that.
A lot of artists have actually found Nouns to be a really great way to get into Web3, where it was a turnoff previously. I've seen that time and time again. So I think there could be some synergy there with showing artists how Nouns is a builder's first, sort of community where people are encouraged to create and express themselves in their art and are rewarded for it as well. So I think there could be some synergy there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, both of you. Appreciate
Hello?
it.
Hey, Al. Is it Al?
Hi. Yes.
Lovely.
Hello, guys.
Lovely
really
Saturn now.
You. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, really excited to be here and join this conversation. Actually, I'm a infrastructure builder, so I build varieties of Web3 infrastructure, and I run a regulated digital assets company here in Gibraltar. I don't know if you guys know where that is, but it's quite an interesting place with a lot of digital assets and.
Yeah, I think you should take a look at the noun of the day. It's the perfect noun for Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So. What is it? What is it? Sorry, I was going to say something, but show it to me.
The noun of the day is a rock.
Oh, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Rocks here. Yeah. So, so basically I've been running regulated digital assets infrastructure. So I'll explain to you later what that means, but it's basically connecting payments, regular, CFI and DeFi, and providing it as an open source for varieties of projects to deploy on a compliant manner. But that's not my question. We've been building this thing for like 4 years, and I've been aware of the NFTs, etc. But I was waiting really to come across people that really thought out the economical model and the tokenomics around any kind of deployment that mixes the community and the actual, reasonable tokenomics, etc. And then a week ago or 10 days ago, I basically discovered you guys, and really I think this is definitely coming from a standpoint of someone that knows our community, that basically thought this thing out because it's been around long enough to understand the shortcomings of other models. And I really believe this is a great model, and I think this is really a breakthrough. So I basically that's the first thing I would like to testimony that I would like to make. So that makes me automatically an adopter, and such an adopter that I really think that guys like me, builders, or I mean anyone can be an adopter, and each one can participate at the level at the level of which he can, and then on our level, I mean we're pretty staffed, kind of pre-equipped, and we have tools, etc., that we can deploy one by one. I don't want to do everything at once, but I want to go with few projects that come to mind. Recently, we have been selected to basically take over the old police station, which is a monument and a landmark here in Gibraltar. If you Google old police station Gibraltar, you can see it. I can probably provide a link. And that's where we have our offices. Well, since we don't have really, most of our people are all over the place, etc., we decided to convert that fantastic space into an NFT environment with a varieties of studios that allows, connecting digital assets or NFTs in general with actual either art or music or food, etc. And here I am, I come across, but I didn't want to do it as a scattered environment. And I really wanted to represent something that kind of, that I feel that is worth it. And I'm really happy that I came across what you guys are doing. So here is my idea. So our NFT space, which I will share with you very soon, is basically, I'm thinking of doing two things. The first one is providing the full space for Nouners as a studio. So basically the capabilities we have is as follows. We have the regular capability of an NFT gallery, including organizing openings and artist residencies. We also have the old police station cells, which we are converting into a music studio where we can obviously have as people to be able to come to Gibraltar on a 2-day artist residency and do a gig, record it, and basically issue it as an NFT. Oh, and I saw the food now, and that is great. And I think we have a kitchen space and we can do stuff on that. So basically,
Papers.
hello?
That's okay. Gina, you've got a hot
Hey,
mic
Gina.
there, my friend. Gina?
Now you're gonna have to mute your mic there.
Oh, sorry, I was yelling at my cat. Sorry, I'm gonna move my mic.
So that's exactly my office. My office is at the left there. You actually looking at it. That's my the door of the gallery. Above us there is Deloitte. So we have a lot of Deloitte, which is basically the auditing company. So we get a lot of very interesting traffic around us, and everyone comes and sees the oldest business buildings in Gibraltar. So it's a kind of a landmark. So it gets a lot of traction. And so basically that's the idea. I really wanted to do it as such, and I was looking for a concept. So the concept that I'll be doing, and it's kind of a semi-official announcement, I would like for this to become a known-ish embassy, a kind of a space where, what is open to everything that will come across and will be derived from this community. And we'll try to support it as much as we can, either via, our artistic residencies, abilities, music production, or even food NFTs where we can produce in our kitchen. So basically, that's basically what we're trying to do. Obviously, we're not asking for any money. We're not hugely capitalized. I mean, it's a bear market for everyone. But I think your mission statement, the mission statement of the Noun DAO is really, very it's worth it, right? So I was looking for a way to something to really adhere on, an environment in which I can deploy my assets, etc., and in the context in which I can deliver. And I found it. So this is what I wanted to announce you. And yeah, great stuff, guys. I'm really excited about this.
So this is not a proposal. You're not asking for funding. You just wanted to basically offer this up as an embassy for Nouns. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's right. So this is an embassy for Nouns. Obviously, at a certain point, if it's not economically, obviously if it's economically a drain on me, I'll come. But for me right now, I mean, most of the things are there, so I don't want to be asking for funding, but I want basically to build support around what we're doing. And the other wow thing that I'm able to do just because we are in Gibraltar, if I establish it as a noun DAO, I'll try to actually get to a diplomatic status. So I'll do a formal application as a consular service for the non-ish in Gibraltar. And I think given the connections and given how small the place is and how we can do a little bit of lobbying, etc. And I think we'll be very good press. We'll have some.
I'm actually looking on Google Flights right now. $800 to go round trip to Gibraltar. So I'm in.
That's right.
I posted a picture of the police station in the chat. In Irish town in Gibraltar, and it's a beautiful place, and that's really cool. And on the Milk and Cookie show last night, we talked about this a little bit because he came to visit us at Food Nouns, and I think that all of our chefs would love to come cook, and I don't think there is a Nounish embassy anywhere in the world, so that would be really, really cool. So thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah, you're most welcome. And the embassy, and we call it probably Nounish embassy, is basically in the most of the consular services are in the same street. So that's where most of the consulates and diplomatic representations are. Above us there is Deloitte, and in front of us there is the Parliament, basically. So
cool.
I think it's going to be cool. Yes.
I'm on that side of the world in Lisbon for 2 weeks in November, so I will definitely be contacting you. That's pretty close. It would be cool if we got to sort of.
Yeah, I'll be in Lisbon then as well. I'll be in Lisbon.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So I actually live between Lisbon and Gibraltar.
Beautiful.
So that's my route, basically.
I just sent you a friend request, so let's see if we can make something happen. That sounds epic.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're most welcome.
This is one of the.
So I'll give you more. Yeah. So as I'm building it, I would like to be able to share it with the community. Obviously, I'm very. If someone can direct me, what would be the best way of sharing what we're doing, etc., and probably just get the word around, etc. That would be cool. So yeah, I'm basically looking for direction in order to basically communicate my execution, because I'm very bad at communicating, and that's the only assistance I'm looking for, basically.
This is Zara, because I'm sending you a friend request also, and I'd like to get into the international stuff and help proliferate that. So I would love to talk to you.
Awesome.
Sure, thank you very much.
Thanks for sharing. We're hearing lots of interesting ideas this week, which is great. Last week we had a couple as well. So I think that's turning out to be one of the best things about these Ask Us Anythings is people are bringing their cool ideas and getting feedback and iterating on them from week to week. So love to see it. Speaking of people doing cool things, I see Darius up there. Darius, you want to give us an update on where you're at? For those that don't know, Darius had a prop house funded to walk and hitchhike all the way through from his native Iran through Armenia, and he's going to be walking now all the way along the Black Sea in Turkey, from one side of Turkey to the other. So kind of a crazy Nounish hitchhiking journey.
One of the family members called me a live billboard last day, and I really love that.
Live billboard, I love it. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, that was so cool. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm in Kapan in Armenia. I'm staying at the gas station tonight. Tomorrow I'm heading to a beautiful village called Totev, which has the biggest telecabin and zip line in the world, the longest actually.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
gonna
fun.
do crazy thing over there for sure, as I'm doing every day. So the newest slogan that I'm really working on is a portrait, a non-ish portrait every day, hopefully forever. So I'm working on that.
That's nice. I like the one in the supermarket today that you just posted. That's cool.
Yeah, I just took that 3 minutes ago. Yeah, that was so live.
Ooh, fresh alpha here on the Ask Us Anything. That's cool. You're still in Armenia, correct?
Yeah, of course. And unfortunately, the war just started yesterday again. I'm still at the red zone. Tatev is on the red zone too. The places are under the attack by Azeris. At the moment, I'm safe. I haven't heard any bomb sound or anything yet, but I'm trying to keep safe. But yeah, this is the situation, and the weather is getting cold. Last night I was freezing in my tent, but it's all right. I've been in this situation before. I'm the man for this, so it's all right.
You're awesome, man. I love what you're doing.
Can I talk about something else too?
Yeah, I think is it about the prop that you had about having an NFT night in Armenia? Yeah, go ahead.
If you don't mind.
Yep.
That's number 1481, and since I'm heading to the year one, the Armenian community has a good and crowded community in Web3, included artists and developers, and I'm trying to gather them in a bar and talk to them about Lil Nouns especially, and introduce the non-ish culture to them. And I don't want them to pay anything. I just want them to be our guests. So for drink, finger food, projection to rent, so we can open an auction on one of the Lil Nouns live and let them how the process is, and give that back to one of them IRL. I want some meat and to spend all, of course, in this meeting. So if you resonate with what I'm doing, it's a short and direct prop. It only take 1 minute to rate, so give it a try. Thank you very much.
What's the number again? I'm trying to find it here on Prop House.
I believe it was 1481, but let me double check.
Trying to find it so I can pin it here for you.
Yeah, 1481. It's called Lil Nouns IRL Evening in Year 1 Armenia.
Oh, sorry, I was looking in the regular Nouns prop house. That's why I couldn't find it. Okay, get 1 second here. I'll post this for you. Yeah, so take a look, guys. Any feedback, let them know. And when is that going to be, that gathering?
Yeah, I believe in 2 weeks I'm gonna be in year 1. I'm gonna stay there for 10 years because I love to interview all the artists and Web3 developers over there. So I'm gonna stay there for 10 days at least, because as I mentioned, they have a big community, and I love to individually interview all of them.
Nice. And that's the Little Nouns round, which ends in 3 days, so it's already being voted for. Anyone who's joining here, if you didn't know, this is an open Ask Us Anything. If you have any question, you want to talk about a proposal that you had in mind, you have a question about how Nouns works or anything of that sort, this is completely open forum for that. Just unmute your mic and either Aptoshi or I will call on you. You can also type your question in the chat here, or if you're listening in on Twitter, you can respond to the pinned tweet, and we're monitoring over there as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Medardo.
Hey, Medardo.
Thanks for your comments about my Lil Noun and for motivating me to have my first interaction with the community. I started to learn about Nouns since 6 months ago, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first interaction. However, I have been collecting good vibes since then. So it's the community I feel more identified. And congratulations for all that you are doing. By the way, I'm from Mexico, and thanks to Mono Analysis for creating Nouns DAO Amigos. I've been following your Twitter account since the creation, more or less.
That's awesome. And Mono, I think you guys are going to be kicking up Latin American Spanish language spaces on SoapBox soon as well, right?
Yeah, we'll be there. And thanks, Medardo. That's really cool to hear.
Thanks for speaking, Medardo, and telling us about your experience. That's great.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Want to speak about a project that they had in mind? Anything at all?
Why is your name Abtalshi? Are you supposed to be like you're tall or something?
Well, since people utilize my channel in the Discord to name honks, I figured, hey, they could also name Optushis. And so someone had named that VS, had put that as a name. And I just thought it was funny. And I probably do think I'm a little bit tall. How tall are you, honk?
Taller.
I doubt it.
There was a song. I wish it was a little bit taller. I wish it was a baller. And that song was somebody idolizing me.
I'm sure.
Nice.
I noticed
met that person.
I noticed how you dropped in earlier, Honk, and dropped off Rocco and then left him here for the day and then came back to pick him up from school. Is that what happened here?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I figured. By the way, guys, if you ever see Rocco, this computer, little Rocco Noun, he's an AI, and he's recording.
Yeah.
He's recording the meeting for us.
And you can dismiss him.
What's that?
Abtalshi is going to try and dismiss him.
Yes, at the end of the meeting. So he even goes beyond just recording us. He actually compiles everything that we've said into a summary about what the entire meeting was about. So he's pretty incredible, and he's learning more and more every day. We love Rocco.
He compiles everything and then puts it together into bite-sized pieces of blackmail and then sends it to us by DM. It's very, very
There's
awesome.
just going to be like a summary statement that says, like, Toshi thinks that she's tall.
Yeah. Toshi's very sensitive about her height. Any other questions here, guys? We've had some good discussions, but open to anyone else.
All right, if I translate for Arash Nagapan, he has some news about the game.
Okay.
Go on, Arash.
Salam, Darishan. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dariush, for translate.
It's all right.
داریوشان میخواستم بگی که من بخشی از گیم دیزاین داکیومنت بازی رو قرار دادم توی دیسکورس که لینکش هم الان میذارم تو چت. خوشحال میشیم بخونن و نظرشون رو راجع به این پارت از دیزاین بازی بگن.
So they are upgrading the document gameplay on the discourse, and he just dropped the link of the discourse to the chat, and he loves to have some feedback around it.
Cool. خیلی تشکر میکنم از اینکه مطالعه میکنید.
Thanking you, and I just wanted to know they are pushing it through and they are developing everything, and they love to have more feedback step by step. So I love him. He's a good soul. Because of the Iran situation, he's a refugee at the moment, and he cannot come back to Iran. So, and he's, as I mentioned in the space, he's one of the best in my country, and I believe one of the top 20 all around the world. So I believe we don't want to miss him.
Yeah. By the way, Arash, I noticed that you got a retweet from 4156 on that. The video that you put out for I'm the Bomb.
Yeah, that was so cool.
در اون موردم موضوع اینجا وودی واقعا از من خواستش که اگه میتونم موزیک ویدیو بسازم برای موزیکایی که میساخت و من خیلی از موزیکاش خوب.
Did we lose you?
Oh, you didn't hear him then?
Right.
He was speaking He was speaking Persian there for a bit, but I'm not sure if you heard him.
I heard that. He was mentioning that Woody offered him for a collaboration, and because Arash loved how Woody is creating this cool music, they decided to do this collaboration, and I believe they released that 2 days ago. I really like that, and yeah, as you mentioned, the founder just showed some love with that music video, which is totally cool.
من بازم از این ویدیو روش میخوام بسازم توی اوقات فراغتم و ایمپرشنش خیلی بالا بود و خیلی برای خودم جذاب بود.
Yeah, he's totally happy with the impression and the engagement that the community and others on the Twitter just gave him, and he's gonna make more music video with Woody and others in the community in future too. He's enjoying it.
Yeah, it's super fun. I put a link to the video there in Voice Public if anyone wants to take a look.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Arash.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darius.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arash. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. It is good seeing a different iteration of that prop and a little bit more examples too of the nouns that would be in it and sort of the monsters and stuff too. So I really appreciate you showing us that. That's awesome.
Anyone else with any news maybe or any questions at all that they'd like to bring up about nouns? Aptoshi, did you see the photos that were posted about the charity beer garden? That prop?
Yes, I did. I have definitely been like wondering what was going down with that. What a great example of actually a prop that just fully came through exactly how they said that they were going to. And I think it's a great activation as well. I don't know if you guys were able to see that, but I will see if I can get a link here for you guys. But one of the proposals was to have nouns noggles visible from space. And so how they did that was through this like astroturf installation, pretty close to a, U.S. college football field that's pretty popular. So Michigan, I don't want to say if it's Michigan State or University of Michigan, because I know that both would hate me if I was wrong, but
too late. Now they're both going to hate you for not knowing.
Yeah, it's in Michigan, but they did a great job. The noggles are there. The noggles are going to be also featured in different parts of it, like these little flags and banners, but it is kind of cool to see a live IRL event, one that people are already sort of in that mindset of being very focused on supporting one thing. So everyone's sort of in the same colors, and then having the noggle sort of be under them and in every photo is definitely so cool. I would love to see more activations like that. And I'm definitely working on one with the folks over at NFT Paris, which is an event that happens at the end of February of next year. They have a pretty good and really cool, unique, I've never seen it before, idea that they want to incorporate it for NFT Paris. And so I hope to help them sort of present that idea to the DAO. And
Aptoshi, you can't just say that. Spill the tea. What's going on?
Yeah, so it would actually be the first time you could walk through noggles. And so they're throwing the whole event. And one of the main features of this event is almost like this cabin style sized noggles that you get to walk through the actual glasses. Inside there's an activation. We were talking about maybe like an OTG sort of shirts and stuff or anything, but the design is beautiful. I think it's finally an activation at sort of one of those, more of like an expo type event that makes sense and isn't just like, noggles on a bag, right? It's more of like an experience and something you can do, like you're walking through these noggles and stuff too. So that really caught my eye. I've talked to the founders of the event and they are huge about it. I think John Hammond, a successful prop builder, has just had his very successful Paris, France campaign where he had his face with the noggles on a poster spread around the city.
Speaking of that, Aptoshi, I noticed that there's a photo in Mike Mongo's prop that he's put up on Discourse, and it's him and his other astronauts posing in front of the Eiffel Tower, and on the right side you can actually see all the John Hammond posters, which is pretty cool.
Yes, and so even from that, I think it showed us like people were going and taking selfies where he had done his activations, and so it showed us like there's a lot larger of an NFT community over in Paris than maybe anyone would have thought, and a lot more of a larger Nounish community. And so that's why I thought maybe this event is perfect for like a sort of IRL walkthrough activation of a Nounish thing. And so everybody definitely be looking out for that on Discords. It's probably going to come up in the next couple of weeks, but that would be for NFT Paris.
Love it. Just globetrotting all over the place.
Globetrotting.
It instantly made me think of a miniature golf course with noggles.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
The concept of pass through.
When prop?
Yeah, build it out, Symbiote.
Right after Nouns. I will.
You should. That's incredible. That would be so fun. The sort of sneak peek I got, the Rose Parade float sort of reminds me of that as well, but it would be cool if it, like, instead of a windmill, it was like a big noun or something, but you were like putting the mini putt golf ball between its legs or something. But there's a lot of awesome cool ideas
and
there.
Symbio, I think you're from Ontario too, so if you build it, I'll come and like cut the ribbon with you. Oh, he didn't like that. I'm just kidding. He said it himself on Twitter, so I'm not doxing him. Don't worry. Hopefully he just got disconnected. Hey, Wiz, what's new with Wizards DAO? Hey, Symbio, you're back.
Yeah, totally wrong button. I was going to say that you were talking about Gibraltar, was that from Ottawa or from Toronto?
What's that?
The flight that
I was from Ottawa. I was surprised, $900 to Gibraltar. I thought that was a pretty good price. I was expecting more.
Nice. Yeah.
I was expecting more.
I'm definitely down. Yeah. Go make some cookies in Gibraltar.
That's right. No, but it was funny. I said you were from Ontario, and then you immediately dropped off, and it made it seem like I doxed you or something. It was really funny timing. Everyone was just kind of like crickets when you left. But I was just saying, if you're going to build your mini golf, build it in Ontario, and I'll come for the grand opening.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a chunk of land in between us. So I'm in Kingston at the moment, but
nice.
Moving towards Smiths Falls. So
small world.
Not that far from you. Yeah.
Small world. Everyone else is like, what are they talking about?
Anyone of the community will be in Lisbon for a web summit in November?
I think Uptoshi will be. Uptalshi, sorry.
That is happening at the same time as NFT London. I'm coming down right afterwards, but I do know that, I don't know if you know a community member named Torita Trades, but he
Tortita
is very interested in that. Oh, yes, Tortita.
Which is better than what I called him. I called him Tortilla once, so you're still better than I am, but
yes. No, he's an incredible person, super smart, has a lot of creative ideas going on that are super nounish, and so I think he was actually going to be at that specific event. You should connect with him. He's DAO server as well. I'll see if I can find his thing. I know that we just connected as friends on here, so I will definitely link you guys up together.
Thank you.
Link it up. All right, maybe we'll do a final call out for questions. We've had a good chat here today. If anyone has any questions or projects they'd like to talk about, any news from around the Nouniverse, feel free to share.
I just dropped another link on the chat. I'm experiencing everything during this project. I'm trying to involve and myself in Web3 as much as possible. So since this project is about being free in many aspects, I'm trying to be free on Web3 as well. So we have a different tokenomic in this project. As you know, we have a roadmap OG 100, which is the fuel of this project, beside the fund that I got from the Nouns, and that gives me the power, the love, and I love to see that token in all of Nouns owners. We have lots of them at the moment, and I want to see that sold out as soon as possible. And to reward the owners, we are giving them free Nounish drops every week or so. And I just dropped the new free claim, which is called Nanirvana. I believe you just said that piece reminded you of Nirvana Nevermind album, so I named that Nirvana, and it's a free claim. You cannot own that because you don't own Roadmap OG. So get your Roadmap OG if you like what I'm doing. Beside that, it's only 0.03. It's not about the price because I'm traveling 3,000 kilometers and I love playing with numbers. I just listed that for 0.03 to match that with 3,000 kilometers. So if you own a Roadmap OG100, every week or so we are rewarding the owners. You don't want to miss it.
Cool. Thanks, Darius, for filling us in. We love what we're doing. So if anyone wants to support him, they can check that out.
Thank you, Darius.
Love you all. This is just amazing. I never felt being part of a family during past 2 years that I've been in the Web3 community. So I'm here to stay. So you have to get ready to hear more about me and crazy thing that I'm doing. Thanks for having me.
Sounds good.
I think a lot of us reflect that sentiment as well, Darius, and feel the same way. So thank you so much.
Much love, much love, much love.
All right. So final call out. If anyone has anything they'd like to talk about or any questions that they have wanted to ask, again, all you have to do is unmute your mic and we'll call on you and you can ask. It's a safe place here. You can ask literally anything about nouns. In the meantime, Aptoshi, is there any other news that we haven't gone over? I think we pretty much covered what happened this week.
I think we got it, but you know how it is in this space. By the time we get together next week again, I'm sure we'll have a lot more news. But we definitely covered all of these super important stuff that's happening this time around.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. This is Wiz.
Hey, Wiz. How are you?
Hey. Yeah, sorry you called on me earlier. I'm actually making coffee, so I was like away from the keyboard. But I was wondering, is there a time frame for when we are going to start experimenting with the dynamic quorum?
So Elad and David from the Verbs team are working on that within Nouns. I don't know what the exact deployment date will be for it, but I know that they're working on it hard and it's a priority for them. I think it's the main thing they're working on right now. So they also have to figure out the exact parameters and whatnot for dynamic quorum. For those who don't know, who might be tuned in, what dynamic quorum is it's sort of an implementation for the voting on nouns.wtf that will make it so that contentious proposals need more yes votes essentially to pass, if we're simplifying it down to its core. So there's a crew within Nouns that has been working on that, and I don't have an exact answer, but I could check and get back to you, Wiz.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering because I'm pretty excited about kind of like what are going to be some of the effects when that goes live. So it's just interesting.
What do you think is going to happen? By the way, those who don't know,
I don't know.
Wiz, you're involved with Wizards DAO, obviously. So do you guys use dynamic quorum over there?
No. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm pretty interested. I mean, it's going to be an interesting experiment. Hopefully it goes well. I mean, I think having those security measures are pretty important. So
yeah, that's kind of the balancing act, is making sure that the protocol is sufficiently protected against someone trying to maliciously exploit the treasury, versus making it so that you get a better snapshot of what the DAO actually wants when they're voting for proposals. So I know Elad and David are super big brain devs and they'll figure it out. But like I said,
yeah, exactly.
Some of it's not even their decision though. Like I know from discussions they've been having on Nouner calls is that I think the DAO just needs to make some decisions about thresholds and whatnot to start with. And they're being very careful about it for the reasons you just said. By the way, I think you need to make an OTC offer for Satori's little noun. He'll match your big noun.
I know. I'm trying to get my own.
Satori's going to post that GIF. We're not selling.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions about dynamic quorum, or about anything else nouns? All right. If not, then we can probably call it a day, Aptoshi, unless you had anything else. Satori posted the gift that I said he would. Like clockwork.
I think we're good. That was an awesome AUA. So thank you guys again for always participating and hanging out here. And I think a lot of times a single question can answer a lot of people's questions. And so, obviously we look forward to seeing you guys next week. And if you have any questions or comments or anything that come up over that time, just keep them handy so you can ask us right away when we open next week.
That's right. And if you were joining us over on the SoapBox simulcast, thank you for listening in. This is also going to be available, the recording, on our Twitter, of course, because it was on Spaces. So the Spaces recording will be there. And I've also recorded my screen throughout throughout this AUA. So I'll be recording that, uploading it to our YouTube. So if you want to share it with anyone that missed it and they want the visibles in the chat, they'll be able to do that on the Noun Square YouTube. If you're not following us on the Noun Square, it's at the Noun Square on Twitter. We have a daily Spaces over there. Toshi and I are both on the team that runs that at 9 o'clock. And then we have several community spaces every day. So later on tonight, if you're looking for something to do at 8 p.m., for example, we have a Tiny Tuesdays Spaces on our Soapbox from Tiny Dinos community. I saw Akash, you might have unmuted there for a second. Did you have a question before we close out here? Or maybe I'm seeing things. I thought I saw him unmute. Okay, he says no. All right, so without further ado then, thank you everyone for coming. We do these every week. We're going to talk offline. We might change the time of these from 2 p.m. EST to 3 p.m. EST because I noticed Little Nouns has started to have a brainstorming session at 2 p.m. or thereabouts, and so there's a conflict, and we love getting some Little Nouners over here as well. So we'll talk about that, but it'll be around the same time. Next Tuesday, we'll be back here in the same spot. So thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tody. Thank you.
Thanks, Abtalshi.
Bye-bye. See you around.
See you next time.
See you guys. Let's all leave poor Rocco here by himself, recording nothing.
I'm gonna end him. Let's see if I can do this correctly. I'm supposed to go to the AI chat.
Don't end him. What did he ever do to you?
Since I don't have a room, let me sleep here tonight. Can I?
Darius, you got a hot mic there, but you can sleep here if you want.
I don't think it worked. I was supposed to hit record. It looks like he's still... Oh, is he gone?
He's gone.
Oh my God, it worked.
You killed him.
Wow, I can control...
You killed Rocco. All right, guys.
All right, thank you so much. Bye.
Space out here, guys. Cheers.
Thanks. See you guys.
Bye.